Welcome back to Kilwa. A little bit of time has passed. One of our vassals, Hulo, who I guess was very briefly disloyal, Spain has decided to support their independence. And on some level, I kind of hope they do declare their independence, because that will drag in Spain alone into a very ugly war that we probably can win pretty easily. So on some level, I kind of hope that happens. I have tried to prepare myself for that by building more ships, building a lot of barracks in order to give us more manpower to help support the army, and also building out to our force limit on troops and cannons so that we are ready in case that comes to pass. We also are potentially gearing up for a war in Adal and a war in Songhai. So we're just getting all of our gears in place. The other thing I think we need to do is similar to how we dropped our exploration idea. We have now colonized everything. There's nothing left to colonize, and so I think it is time now to draw, and we have a ton of admin power, I think it is time to abandon our expansion ideas and to pick up a new idea. We cannot take a military one, so we can only take an admin or a diplo one. We have tons of admin, and so I am thinking that it is probably religious, because we're going to need to do a lot of conversion, and so we need to have enough missionary strength in order to push through that. So I think we are going to go for religious, just to make sure we can convert the Spanish provinces and Portuguese ones when we take it. Let's go ahead and take that. Manpower and True Faith provinces, that's pretty helpful. We're going to also take just flat missionary strength, so there we go. We are currently focused on mill. Let's switch over to focus on admin. We also have lost our exploitation of the New World policy, because it's no longer valid. So we can take, we don't need inflation reduction, or economy is not relevant. Free trade, trade power abroad. Trade steering is probably the thing that is most helpful to us. Alright, let's reinstate that. There we go. Let us check real quick, because I believe we lost a merchant when we did that, so I want to make sure our merchants are still in logical locations. I don't want to have lost one over, like, here, say, where it's really important. Yep, we still appear to have all our merchants in place in all the important locations. Where is this taking the trade? To the Caribbean. Trying to steer it, I guess, away from them. We should also upgrade to try to get control in these nodes. 25 development. Let's use some mill. Start working towards that. Knowledge sharing offer from Persia, we will take that. Permanent navies. Cool. Strong military leadership. I don't think that matters right now. We have tons of generals. Looks like we have conversion strength. Alright, let's get ready for a war in Songhai. Our truce is almost up. Assuming somebody has some sort of claim, one of my people. Nope, of course not. Nobody has done anything. Guess in fairness, I probably didn't tell them to do anything, but guess what? We want all of it. Let's deal with rebels. Okay. Let's come back to what we were doing over here, telling our vassals that we want literally everything. I wonder why it does that sometimes. Maybe when we click on one of our own subjects' provinces? All of this. We want all of it. And let's just, to make sure they don't get... There we go, let's just placate them down one time to make sure they also don't get a... support independence. Guess we also can just fabricate ourselves. But unfortunately, we've lost one of our diplomats. Interesting that we continually lose enough control here. Benin. We can get this one up high enough to upgrade to a level 3 world port. Tariff, better leave that be. Courthouse Trade Depot. Yep, we have all of them. Take our tolerance of the true faith. Lose manpower, lose discipline. We can afford to lose the manpower. I think we were already standing on that one. Okay, like they've got that. Strength of our vassals will come down once we annex Katsina. See if we could get Persia to let go. If we were to ask, would they break their alliance? Not yet. A lot of revolts here. Flare war. Oh, there we go. Someone's taking it. Bring back from Brunei for a moment. Let's see if we can trade favors. For trust. See if we can get their trust high enough that they will take an alliance with us. They will do it. French, Italy. How did that happen, I wonder? And let's ally the Ottomans. There we go. We've picked up a much better ally, I think. There. We have too many relationships. We probably will hold on to Persia. I think our allies right now are good. There we go. Now I think we're ready. Sweden is going to attack Denmark. Exciting. Alright, Songhai. Time to deal with you. Timbuktu, and... let us... oh, we're still allied to Jaunpur. That's interesting. Well, we'll hold on to them for now, but then we're going to get rid of them in a minute. And I guess we need to just build more and more and more manufactories, because we are not getting the institution as fast as I would like. That is a very good general you have there, my goodness. That ought to do it. We have lost a general. Of course, it was the general that was on the army. Why wouldn't it be? I feel like it's mandatory that it be the general that is attached to the army. Ulo is very disloyal and not participating. It's like they're smashing some of the vassals. Let's siege this so we can put a general here. Thanks for all that. Election. We have very high... we will keep him. Excellent. Let's recruit another general. And there goes that Congo army. I think we need a stronger northern buffer of air. I think we need to strengthen. We've got too many allies and vassals right now, so I think instead of creating Janae, which would be a good vassal, I think we need to instead strengthen air. Aha, take that, Fulo. Here in a moment, we will annex Katsina. Then we'll probably start annexing Kanembornu as well. Like my vassals are doing it. The vassal swarm is being successful here. I do love a good vassal swarm. Let's go deal with that for them. This is sort of why I had these troops hanging around here, and also for the potentiality of war with it all. that is over. Hi. Alright, I think that war is over. What? I didn't even notice they were down here sieging. Alright. It won't really matter. We will turn this over to air. We're gonna turn everything over to air. Fulo, you probably could have had some if you weren't being disloyal. I think I'll take this one because it's in one of my areas. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Alright, so I'm gonna take that. Can do that, but more. Let's try to create reasonable borders for air. There we go. They will take that. And that will greatly strengthen our vassal air. And we will core the one province that was in a state that we already had. The other thing we realize we need to do is we need some more fortresses over here. This one, oh, it's not an upgraded fortress. It's unfortunate. Alright, let's see. I built more heavies to try to keep up with the Spanish. I think the Spanish and Portuguese are building more ships, so that means we need to be building more ships. The other thing that means is we should build more heavies to reinforce the heavy fleet that's over in the Southeast Asia area, because we have to make sure that we're sort of doing a sort of similar policy to the United States of a two oceans navy, where we have to have enough navy to always win a battle in either ocean. Either the close one or the far one. Which can be a little expensive to maintain, but there we go. Looks like we can also take our manufactories, which I think we will embrace. There we go. So now we are not behind on that. Come down here now. Because Kong is only at peace with me until 71, so the next war will be here. Brunei actually came all the way over here to help me. How kind of Brunei. Build a few of these. Make sure we keep under our governing capacity. One of these is going to have the least, it's probably the best on supply limit. Excellent. Katsina is in. So now let's group their little army together. south with that army stack. I think that is the only army of theirs, so that's good. There we go. Now we have 100 heavies. I think that ought to hold it. Now, let's see. Let's check R. We've still got governing capacity. Let's go ahead and annex in all of this. There we are. Merchants visit Persia and give us ridiculous amounts of money. Leave that be. Let's go ahead and take R. In and of countries from others of the same religion. See how we're doing on R. We're a little over the force limit, okay. That is a savanna. That is a horrible location for a fortress. But the whole thing is savanna, so I guess that is what it is. Let's, with the Ottomans, go ahead and trade some more. Favors for trust. We want the Ottomans and the French to be friendly. $71. Shanghai has got a small military left. Let's see. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of money from a workshop. About courthouses. There's several good ones in the places that we just annexed in. There we go. Sure, Jampur. Switch back to our trade propagation here. Seems like we would hold better onto this, but we seem to struggle quite a bit. How are we doing on technology? Coming up on the next tech. Upgrading fortresses. Courthouse, workshop, trade depot. So you do have your trade building. Protests. Truce with Jolof is over. All right, let us declare rituals, move towards legalism. diplomacy. Kong, let us declare war. You are allied with Tlemcen. That's fine, I think. Let's declare on Lobai. I think I'm gonna leave them to that, and I'm gonna go up here and deal with Tlemcen, I think. We can also get our Deus Volt. There we go, Deus Volt. And that, we should take a look at our policies to see if better policies are available. Well, we only have one missionary strength versus heretics and religious unity, so obviously that's better than nothing. Then our other one, the Military Zeal Act from Quality and Religious, gives us siege and morale, so we will take that. And on this one, morale, and naval recovery, maneuver and ship durability. I think our blockade is fine right now. Let our vassals handle this. This general can probably recruit another general. This guy can probably handle this. So, Tlemcen, you have quite a few cores. Could be a good vassal. Gao and Arabanda. We'll have to deal with that. Sepoys. This allied with Tlemcen. There we go. Vassals appear to have it under control. Cannons, more combat with, cavalry, artillery, conscription center. Volt in Sierra Leone, of course. Let's see if we can come down and deal with this. Luckily there is a fortress there now. We can get domestic trade power, or we can get goods produced. I think not. I don't think France is going to break the alliance with me, but let's improve just in case. It's like Songhai is determined to do what they can. Thank you, vassal. What a useful vassal looks like. Let's bring them over here to Kong. Siege of Figuig is over. Alright, we want you to become our vassal, I think, because you have a lot of useful cores up here. Wow, how can you possibly have enough development here? Guess you do, and I guess you're just not a co-belligerent. I should have co-belligerated them. Tinga. French Columbia has insulted me, thanks. You're gonna have to deal with that. The Poor of Sofala. I find it interesting that, yeah, you can't... I guess they're just big enough from all of that that I cannot vassalize them. So... Heir has claim on that. So we could just transfer it and take a bunch of stuff from them. Call from France. Now let's do a little more trade favors with the Ottomans. And this heir. Gold mine up here, I wouldn't mind giving to heir either. Pause. Monopoly, trade efficiency, definitely. Alright, buddy. It's funny, we can take almost everything, but not the last... But they won't accept vassalization, but they will give me almost all of their stuff. Just make sure if I siege this, I can't feed it to them, can I? I don't have enough troops to actually even... Say hello! Alright, we can upgrade to the Quebec. There we go. Monument in Kutaraja. Excellent. That also will allow us to take the furnace and more production efficiency. Transfer this to air. March back down here. Take whatever we can out of this. Yeah, can't take that. Fine. Alright, then we will take your money and take your stuff and feed it to our vassal. Oh, that's not good. Where are my vassals? Ha! Still one. We can take the next military technology. We're a little bit ahead of time. There's no real rush to take that. You know what we're gonna do? We have a claim here, and Sus is allied with Tlemcen, so we're gonna just attack them. We're going to attack you again. And say, guess what, Tlemcen? Say, guess what, Tlemcen? I think you are wrong. I am determined that you are going to be my vassal. Raids through the jungle. Khan gets raided by cavalry. Interesting. Prestige. And now let's go ahead and take our mill tech. I think this will be a good vassal, because we know we're going to go to war to Spain, and they have so many cores on Spain. Sus also would not be a bad vassal. Let's go up to the horse artillery. curry some favors. France. Definitely need some of my vassals to come get involved. I think we're going to take the Diplo rep. The morale of navies is just not necessary. Okay, now let's come over here. Now, Tlemcen, let's have a conversation. I told you you were going to be my vassal, and so you shall be. Like how I'm like not even focused on the actual war I started. I'm like totally unfocused. I'm like, you know what would be nice while I've walked all these troops across the desert? Let's just go ahead and end this. All right, but I'm going to pause here. I know we're way past time on this one, so I'm going to pause here and I'll see you in the next one.